Welcome back to the Magic Board Quest. Today we're going to look at a collection of Ryan Burch boards that look absolutely insane, and I'm really excited to show you guys, so let's go. Started here, and then you wanted a longer one, but then you got impatient and got that one. Got excited.
Pretty much.
Starting with the 5'6" Squit fish. It's got a fairly familiar fish outline. It's got a nice round arc in the tail that I like, and it's 21 wide with a pretty wide tail block. And it's got pretty continuous low rocker all through the board. And notably, the deck is very flat and carries a lot of foam out to the rails, which Ryan has a great video talking about how that livens up the board. I'm very curious here what's going to happen. So, flat. Is it going to be flat all the way through? I guess there's a little single right there.
Starting. A little bit there into
about like halfway up, single.
Yep.
Subtle though. Wow, flat. Interesting. The bottoms of these boards are all pretty flat and then carry the rail really far out into a hard rail. It's got this little kind of nub that I keep noticing in boards where it's not quite round, it's not quite hard. It's interesting.
It's amazing to me like how with that short rail line I can actually flick it up and like let it loose, but I'm still attached, right? Yeah. Feeling is like nothing else because you project out of, really you try to go a high line, but you can bottom turn, and these things are just it's like skating, right? So like you get the right waves on a short fish,
right?
And I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to go to cloud break like Burch and and prove it on that range, but I understand why that does work, and if you have that kind of ability, there's nothing like the feeling of a short fish.
Right. My overall guess on how it rides, it looks like a really rippable small fish. I'm especially curious to see how these big fins work. My personal fish is a 5'8", which I know is too big to me, so I'm excited to try stepping down into smaller fishes. Next up, we've got the 5'10" straight cut fish. This board is subtly different. Overall, it's slimmer and a hair more performance looking with a lot less foam. You can see the side cut, straight cut fish template in the back half. It gets a bit straighter. And that rail line in the back third then rounds out the end. I haven't ridden these, but these ones are kind of at the top of my list to want to try. It looks so sick. And it's got a similar smooth, continuous, but low rocker. Then looking at the bottom, it starts off flat. Okay, little single, 2/3 of the way up. Much more single. But yeah, single.
Single to flat.
Single to flat. When it comes to rails, these look really similar on all the boards, honestly.
I would say this is a cuttlefish made for better waves. It's not kind of a non-groveler. Okay. And, so far I've really loved it. I've only had it about 3 months, like both these two.
Freshies.
And that has worked really, really good. Pretty much in, like it could be a daily driver, but it wants a good wave. It's my favorite of the moment, along with both those two, but it's been the most versatile for pretty much take it anywhere and do well in any size waves.
My overall guess on how this one rides, it's a little more of a performance kind of DNA in there. It looks very rippable on better days at a point break. With that reduced foam, it looks like it would cut deeper into the water, and with that slimmer tail shape, it looks like it would carve tighter turns. Stepping up, we've got the 6'4" Squit. It's got the same DNA as the 5'6", but it's got some significant differences. The 6'4" has the hip that Burch is known for, giving it a straighter rail line in the tail. It's also got extra foam that's spread out a little differently through the board, making it more of a mid-sized fish and more versatile. Then getting into the bottom of the 6'4", I apologize, I missed the shot for the first bit of this.
This one's pretty flat. Oh, nope. Single again. 2/3 of the way up. Yeah, same deal. Yeah, look at.
Mm-hmm.
So it just goes all the way out to the edge.
Yep. What I like when I got up on his list, that was what I envisioned, was just give me like, how do I size up like my 5'6" to a point where I can be sort of a quiver killer, like on any sort of day, like 2 to 10. Like this board for me, I think is 2 to 10. Like it is versatile enough to grovel in anything, but it really shines on the days where it's a couple feet overhead, and I think the high tide, I haven't had it in the winter yet, but we have so much like high tide morning with swell that you want to get around the lineup and then you want to get in early, and then you want to have that sort of, to me it's like fish skate speed and flow is all I'm looking for. Let me find lines and like try to have enough speed to swoop.
My overall guess on how this one rides, it looks like a great all-around board. It's got enough foam to be decent in smaller waves, but it's still sporty enough to rip when there's size. And finally, we've got the 7.0 Squit. Again, this shares the same DNA as the 5.6 and the 6.4, but it's stretched out even more and has even more pronounced differences than the 6.4. The side cuts are deeper, the rocker is deeper, and the rails are more refined.
How much more kick in that nose there is?
Yeah, way more. Way more. Yeah, it's starting to go a little single.
Yeah, it's way more mellow single, huh?
Mellow. There it's about the same.
Yeah, but it doesn't begin until way back there.
It's kind of like where this one differs.
Yeah, I for sure think that is way more aggressive.
And then back to the rails. These boards all share the same kind of rail pattern.
It's been pretty amazing. Like on days that it's like just kind of woolly out there, and like days where you're like how do you even get into something out there? Like this board gets you around, and then when you get in, like it feels very, very surfable, even with the big wide guppies down there. Like you can still lean into those things and push hard on them, and you know you can see the tail is like super, super refined, and like it's got the same hard rails.
And my guess on how this one rides, at 7.0, this one is firmly in the mid-length zone. It's fish shape, but it's in a totally different category of trim and versatility. I'm definitely excited to try this one. And Mark's got a whole bunch of boards, so I pulled down a couple that also looked interesting. This Christensen is a really popular board that I eventually want to review. And I was really interested to see it feels a lot like a shortboard. Then I'm also really excited to get into the world of ASIM, so I just wanted to pull this down and show it to you guys. This album's got a lot of interesting things going on. And finally, these Campbell Brothers Alpha Omegas just have some crazy bottom contours. I will for sure be reviewing one of these soon. So which one's the magic one? You got to pick one.
I can only have one of these right now. For the rest of my on a desert island, in terms of a little more range and a little more like ability to do fine, it'd have to be the 6.4. You know, I don't aspire to ever be able to surf like Burch, but like I have felt some magic in moments where I'm like, I know what he was doing here, and it helped me in a moment where I felt more ability than I have, and that's all I can ask for, right?
Like, what is the magic feeling for you? Like,
it's a combination of speed and flow. I've tried to like reason with a few shortboards that like you're just like, what is this? Like this is asking me to put all the inputs in and tell this thing and overpower this thing, and I'm like, I want a board that knows what it wants, and I just want to like be the co-pilot, right? And I want it to immediately take off. Okay, I'll paddle us in, I'll somehow balance us to like stick a landing, and then like take off, right? Take off, let me feel flow, let me feel like I can have enough speed that I can draw lines, I can go up, I can go down, I can, you know, I can find places to hit a lip and, you know, try to stick it and find little barrel sections, just explore. I want exploration on a wave. Like I don't want to like go murder a wave. I want to go like just like flow and dance and like celebrate like ocean energy, right? Like that's all I want.
Thanks for joining us on the quest for the magic board. We'll see you next time.